Welcome, everyone. I want to introduce to you Humaira, Jehangir, and Musarrat Azher, who are going to be presenting this morning cartoons as a cultural critique on body shaming. And I will give you guys a 10-minute and a 5-minute timer as we go.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So may I begin then? Okay, thank you very much. So as Shelby has already introduced us, we have chosen cartoons as they are considered to be a very good source of humor, and that they are used to highlight societal contradictions and promote reflection on the cultural norms. They are also used to be known to play a significant role in shaping body perceptions, perceptions regarding the body images, like what about the weight, about the skin color, and the height as well. So the thing is that this is a kind of a two-edged sword, because there are cases where the cartoonists meant to be challenging the stereotypes, but in certain instances, they have perpetuated those very stereotypes that they are targeting, actually. So we have, in our research, come across this thing that cartoons are for sure a tool for the cultural critique, and they address the societal issues, and they are also used to encompass all the different biases regarding the body shaming, like weight, skin color, and height as well. And in certain instances, they do challenge the societal biases, but in others, unfortunately, they also reinforce those very harmful stereotypes. So you can say safely that the cartoons are powerful yet complex medium for cultural commentary. Keeping these things in mind, we designed our research objectives that we are going to analyze 200 cartoons, and we used two major platforms of online platforms for Western and Eastern context to identify how the recurrent themes of body shaming are presented by the cartoonists. And we wanted to explore the cultural similarities and differences in the portrayal of these body shaming. And we, for that purpose, are decided to compare the frequency of those themes and humor mechanism and cultural critique as well. So the third objective of our study is to evaluate whether cartoons do serve as a tool for cultural critique, or are they used inadvertently to reinforce the harmful stereotypes by analyzing the framing of body shaming themes, and how potentially these things do affect the societal impact. So our methodology was to collect as many online cartoons as possible by searching for the body shaming. And as we progressed, we found that there were certain specific ones. They were like weight. Then in height, we could not find exactly, like we had to search very specific terms like cartoons on tall people, cartoons on dwarfism. And then we categorize those into three major themes: weight, height, and skin color, to systematically examine how body shaming is being portrayed. For the analytical framework, we took Attardo's general theory of verbal humor, and we used all these 6 knowledge resources. If you were lucky enough to attend Attardo's lecture on 13th February, you would have come across all these are different in a great detail he described. So, but I have just left them on the slide. So in any case, if you people are not aware that cartoons are the ones that are used, that use both the verbal and visual elements at a different level to balance out the joke in them, or the message they want to convey in a light-hearted manner. So the first thing that we looked at was that how common the themes, recurrent themes were. Weight has the most commonly addressed issue across the cultures. Height is the least one. But there is a similarity in both the cultures in West and East, and that is that height and weight have got this, it shows that they are they are the things that are faced by the people. People are similarly pressured by their communities, and there are certain ideals that if you are not fulfilling, then you feel that you are at for some reason at the loss of what you have as a personality. Cultural differences could be seen in the skin color tone because both communities are very much obsessed with the skin colors, but on the opposite side of the continuum. We will come back to that. So the first one was about the weight, and interestingly, we had three subcategory sub themes in it. One was about the societal perceptions. The second is the critique of the government's policies. And that interestingly came mainly from the West and most heavily from the USA itself. And the third is the ridicule of the overweight people themselves. That was really a surprise for us. So the first one is the societal obsession with the weight and the issues regarding that. So if you look over here, you will find that the script opposition occurs because there is a contrast between this universal sameness of the, if you look closely, that the foregrounded one are the skeletons. So the universal sameness in the skeletons and the societal judgment that is absurdity shown because absurdly shown because the skeletons themselves are shouting at each other, you are way too thin and way too thick. So what is happening? The arrangement of the skeletons and the dialogue creates an immediate contrast between the universal sameness of the skeletons and the absurdity of the body shaming. Why? Because the verbal sign highlights the persistence of the body shaming, even in the context where the physical differences are irrelevant. You see, the skeletons are one of the male and one of the female. So there are a little bit of a difference in the arrangement of pelvic bone, but otherwise they're of the same density and it does not matter. So the irony is further amplified by the juxtaposition of the skeleton's uniformity with the dialogue critique. So they have actually, cartoonist has relied on both absurdity and irony by emphasizing that even skeletons are not immune to such kind of body shaming remarks. The second theme was of the critique of the government itself, and that was, as I said, I found that most of these are specifically from the USA. And why is that? So the cartoon is, as you can see, they have got the visual and the verbal textual focus as well. So in the visual, you can see that the person is holding processed food, and that processed food actually undermines the textual focus on federal budget against the body shaming. That creates an ironic dissonance. The arrangement of this treadmill scene and the ironic text highlights the misplaced priorities of the government. It emphasizes the disconnect between addressing the body shaming and tackling with the root cause of the health issues. That is, they neglect the issue how much food production and corporate influence on the unhealthy food production is undermining their all efforts to stop the body shaming or make people eat healthy food. The third theme was a really rude awakening for us because it was a direct ridicule of the people, individuals that have got weight issue. And they had targeted the culturally significant moment that is the wedding. So again, the script opposition is through the contrast of wedding romance with the physical limitation. And the visual and textual elements are arranged to create an immediate contrast between the romantic expectations of that you make as the bride at the end of the wedding vows to solemnize those vows, and then the same priest has that thought bubble going on if you can. So that is a clear mockery focused on the bride's weight. Uh, and This is carried out through the mockery and exaggeration. Uh, of course, there would be people who would chuckle over there, but there would be people who might feel kind of they might not feel good about it, because this actually promotes the body stereotyping. Our next theme is on the skin color, and we have seen that there is total, they are on the opposite of the continuum, where East is obsessed with the fairness, the West are obsessed with the tanning. These are the immediate cartoons that we found. And the first one I took about the from the East, because there is a rise in this against the way the people are considered, that if you are um, the whiter the skin tone is, the beautiful you are. They have started to get against this thing. And this is a very, actually, they have targeted the skin cream and fairness creams and serums industry. And this is the targeting of the most iconic cream in the South Asian societies. And they actually changed their label from Fair and Lovely to Glow and Lovely recently. But they have used the same words as a pun, and they have gone with unfair and a lovely day. So the script opposition is in the unfairness in the society, and the loveliness is in the stance of the lady herself. She's a Southeast Asian woman with a dark skin tone. And if you look over her clothes, she's wearing very bold colors, and they have used the very words of those cream that was very popular, and it still is popular in the South Asia. And they have subverted the original intent of using the brand's iconic language itself against itself, to expose the discriminatory nature of the colorism. Um, then if we come to the Western side of the obsession of the skin, as I mentioned earlier, that people have got this obsession with the tanning thing. And I like this cartoon very much because of the way they have not only put the a lady, onto the tanning machine, but how the service man, or how the person of tanning industry is asking the lady, do you want me to set it to light, medium, or a butterball? So what they have done using this phrase is, in parallel with the food related jargons, to highlight the commodification of the appearance, as well as they have tried to use the visual signs of that tanning machine and the tanning process exaggeratedly to symbolize a societal obsession with the artificial beauty standards. So you can see that there is an interplay between the medium itself the text itself and the imagery that is being cast over here. The most interesting one was for me butterball, the use of the word butterball instead of well done or other words, because that is, if I'm not wrong, it is layered humor, because the butterball term is often associated with the turkeys. So they say that, are you treating yourself equivalent to the animals now? So the third theme of our project was the height, and that was also interesting to see that how height is treated more oftenly in West than in the Eastern societies. Maybe because for some reason, color cartoons on the color are more common in the Eastern ones. I still have to find more focused on the height one. So the first one is about the societal pressures that magnify the minor insecurities. And this cartoon I chose specifically because this is at the fence of being supportive of the critiquing the concept of how height is being used as a discriminatory tool, and on the other hand, promoting the stereotypes, because if you look at the dialogue, there is seriousness of a psychological counseling, that they are saying your obsession with being taller is more common than you think. And then they go on to say the words that it shows that you have got low esteem instead of self-esteem. And that is a word play. And it is
5
also
minutes, by the way.
all right. It is also a sign of how imagery and text amplifies the absurdity and humor, but it may fall into that they are promoting the stereotypes. The last one is again from the West, and interestingly, it is again something that I would say that they have not only gone with the societal issues, but also with the political nuances to it. So if you look over the image and the text, you would find that they reinforce the absurdity, because the visual elements has got the executioner, the king, and a common person. And the tone of this is interesting, because this is a very formal one, out of compliance and the maximum height requirement. So what does it do? It actually employs the verbal and non-verbal signs, and make the absurd rules sound very formal and official. So it is a dig on both things. So in conclusion, we found that there are the dual roles of the cartoons. There are certain political underlying meanings as well. And on the other hand, if the cartoons are critiquing the societal norms, in certain cases, they are also reinforcing the harmful stereotypes. And then there is this opposite critique on the colorism. But in one way they are similar, because they are both critiquing the obsession with the skin color, but where the Western cartoons are on the irrational pursuit of beauty, Eastern cartoons critique the preference for the fair skin and colorism. It shows that there is a cultural dichotomy, that these body shaming things are global in nature, but the beauty standards are localized expressions, and hence the cartoonists follow different ways to express that. So our significance of using the cartoon is that they can be culturally specific beauty ideals that are being challenged. Now, they provide the nuanced understanding of the societal pressures, and they may highlight the need of careful crafting of humor to avoid reinforcement of stereotypes, as you have seen in the two, that they actually are reinforcing the stereotypes. And they also reveal how cartoons can serve as the tools for cultural and political critique. Thank you very much. Here are the references that we used. Here are the links to all the cartoons that we have used. And in the end, I'll just leave the slide of my most favorite cartoon, because this presents how people who face the body shaming actually feel. Thank you.
Thank you for this presentation. Very interesting stuff. I just wanted to comment about the turkey thing. And I mean, obviously what you said, it's human versus animal, right? I mean, I agree. Yeah. However, and I put an example straight from the Butterball website in the chat. That's the color to which a turkey skin is cooked in this country for eating. Okay, and as you can see, it's dark brown. Okay, yeah. So the color is not lost in the joke about the Butterball setting. Okay, that's the color that Butterball setting means in this country.
Yeah, thank you for this. As it was not in my culture, but that seemed very interesting. So I asked around, and I came up with this, that usually the turkey is cooked to this extent, and it is called Butterball.
Yes. Thank Absolutely. You. But I mean, but you're correct that there is the other script opposition, human, non-human. Absolutely, no question. But it's still, the joke is still about color.
Yeah, thank you for that.
In the chat box from Claudia. What is the difference in your examples between irony and sarcasm?
Sorry, I'm sorry. Let me, all right. Let me go back to the slides and then you can tell me which one do you think would be more, where did it go? Down. All right. So this is, if you look over here, this is sarcasm on the way they use the words to sound more holy or more formal, while passing very absurd and silly rules. And ironic would be, ironic would be this juxtaposition of a person holding high calorie things and unhealthy food, which is not only accepted but encouraged in USA. On the other hand, the sarcastically portraying that why federal budget is for body is allocated for the body shaming, because the government itself is not paying attention to where their actual focus should be on. They should be on putting the budget for healthy food and getting awareness about what the healthy food is. So this is irony in a way, because they have uh, talked about the misplaced priorities, but on the other hand, this is also a sarcasm on the government itself, because they are trying to focus on the things that are not of the priority. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome. South Asia, how are you? And your name gives that kind of an understanding. So yes, you are very much right that this is an activism and we need that kind of an activism as well. Thank you for pointing out.
Yes, thank you. I missed part of your the first part of your remark because there was a recording message. Did you want to?
All right, Anita, I said that I think you are also from the South Asia. From your name, I felt like that. I may be wrong. Anita is.
I'm not, but I have heard that my name is common in parts of South Asia and other countries as well. But I did really enjoy your talk.
Thank you so much. So this is, you are very right. It is humor activism, as John Chauvinik has pointed out yesterday. And you are very much right. It is a part of that, because recently there is a surge of awareness since, let's say, 2021 or so. And before that, the very cream was Fair and Lovely. And this concept is promoted in the South Asian societies like Pakistan and India, that for some reason in these Asian societies, that the fairer you are, the beautiful you are. So if you look at our ads, the girls are, or if you look at our movies or our dramas or TV shows, you would find that girls and the boys even are mostly fair, and that's why they are lovely as well. So recently there was a lot of take on this in our society, that this is promoting a lot of negative things, specifically because for the past decade or so in our society, parents go to the beauty salons and they beg them to inject their daughters with beauty serums that can make their skins become whiter, and that has affected their reproductive systems as well. So there is an ongoing campaign in our societies against this unhealthy practice, but this is very right. Thank you for the comment and pointing out this thing.
Yeah, thank you for giving that context. I was somewhat aware of the issue, but yeah, I didn't realize to what extent that was prevalent. Thank you.
Thank you.